Welcome to The Fight with Teddy Atlas. I'm Ken Rideout, joined as always by the voice of all combat sports, Teddy Atlas. Teddy, how you doing?
I'm good. I spent the weekend in the greatest place on earth with my grandchildren. The only thing was one was missing, my grandson in Vegas, but he'll be in for the holidays soon. And my daughter and her husband had to go out of town, so me and my wife quickly accepted the babysitting duties and went down there for the weekend. And man, we had a ball. There's no rules. When I'm around with the grandkids, that's the rule. No rules. They're the boss. They are in charge. We saw a great movie. I recommend it. I'm going to start doing movie reviews. I give it 2 thumbs up like Cisco and Egbert years ago. It was a great kids movie, Mona 2. Just a great story, about you never give up on whatever you believe in, and it'll wind up coming out true. So that was great. And this morning, busy handing out toys from the Foundation for Special Needs Schools, and that's pretty special too, to see these kids get excited and get their toys from Santa, because we bring Santa with us. But a lot of stuff to get ready for, because I leave tomorrow morning with my son to Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, once again for the rematch of Fury and Usyk. We'll do the preview of that at the end of this show. And my son just flew in on a red-eye from Vegas, so he's taking a nap. So let's get into the fights. What do you want to start with? The UFC? There was a UFC. Well, they always have a good solid card. The main event was a guy who's been a top welterweight for a long time, even though he hasn't been real active. He was a big favorite, I think, in this fight. I believe he was anyway. You want to go to that, the UFC fight first?
Yep, Colby Covington loses to Joaquin Buckley, who's now on a 6-fight win streak, 4 wins this year, 2 last year, and another setback for Colby Covington. Colby, I didn't think looked very good at all. I thought he got pieced up in every area of the fight, on the ground, on the feet, and eventually a doctor stopped it due to a vicious cut over Colby's, I believe it was his right eye, in the 3rd round. Huge win for Buckley. Like I said, big setback for Colby Covington. How'd you like that one?
Yeah, 36 years old versus a 30-year-old. So Covington's getting up there, 6 years older. 2 southpaws, I noticed that right away. And that's always interesting. And look, Covington took it on short notice. He stepped in on shorter notice, took the fight. And Buckley was ready. I mean, Buckley, he was, I believe Covington took it on short notice anyway. That's right. I don't want to be. And that's right. I got something to add. I don't think that Covington, first of all, he's not active. That can't help somebody. He fights once a year for the last, 4 years, whatever it is. His last win was against Masvidal. He fights once a year. He's not active. And you just pointed out that Buckley...
The last one was a loss to Leon Edwards in exactly 1 year ago. And almost exactly a year before that was to win over Masvidal in a decision.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That was his last win, was Masvidal. Buckley's been the opposite, as you pointed out. He's been very active. 4 fights already this year. His 4th fight this year. That can't be a good thing, being inactive like that. But I tell you, he has been a top guy. He has been a guy who's very controversial, with the talking and everything else. But he's a guy who has been a top guy, and I guess he's lost to some of the top guys. People will say, there's no doubt. And he beat Woodson. Was it Woodson or Woodley?
Woodley.
Am I pronouncing it? Yeah,
Woodley in 2020.
Yeah, and Woodley was getting maybe a little bit longer in the tooth then, but still, Woodley had been was a champion, but I'm gonna put I'm gonna put something in there that nobody's touched on. I don't know if he's ever been the same, and again, being not active, put that in there. But aside from that, I don't know. And then some people say, whatever they want to say, they overrate it. I don't think that's the case. But because of the talk and everything else. But I don't know if he's ever been the same after he got hit in that street attack with Masvidal, where, he was coming out of the restaurant after their fight, and Masvidal was laying on him and hit him, hit him as he came out from the side, hit him with a punch. I don't know how much damage. I know it did damage. I know there was talk that it may have done brain damage. Now, that's not verified. But I know that was reported. That did it do brain damage? Did it do this? Did it do that? I don't know. But it was a bare knuckle punch by a professional MMA fighter, UFC level fighter, that hit him. I know it broke a tooth. I don't know what else it did where we can look at it from a physical standpoint, say this was the damage. But I don't know what damage was done beneath that. I don't. But I'm the only guy bringing this out, and that's because I look at everything. I've been in the fight game my whole life, and you got to be aware of everything. A guy gets hurt, God forbid, in the ring, Sam. And, I know Sam does jiu-jitsu, he does training, does mixed martial arts. When a guy gets hurt in boxing, in my sport, I know the first thing Customato always taught me to do was look to see what happened prior. Was he in a tough fight prior? Was he involved in something that we're not aware of? Was there an accident involved? Did something happen to him that's not being reported? Did he have a street fight? Did something happen to him before this fight? And in this case, you'd point at, something happened 2 fights ago, all the way back to right after the Masvidal fight. And I don't know. But to me, I had this feeling that it affected him. Anyway, as far as what happened Saturday night, big first round by Buckley. Look, Buckley just looked bigger and stronger. And he was stronger. He was stronger in the striking, and even on the mat, you could see his physical strength. Now, I wouldn't say that Covington got dominated on the mat. He got dominated striking. Dominated. But he had his moments on the mat. That's his forte. He had his moments on the mat, but Buckley was so strong on both places where he defended the takedowns. He got what did he get? 1 or 2 takedowns for Covington. I think in the second round he got a takedown. I don't know if he got 1 or 2, but he defended the takedowns, Buckley, really well. And then he not only showed strength on the floor, but good maneuvers, smart. He had Covington in some difficult positions on the mat, where he was holding his own, or more than holding his own in spots, to be honest. So Covington's best shot was on the mat, but even there he couldn't really get what he wanted and get that upper hand, because Buckley was prepared. He was good. He was strong. Man, he looked good striking. He looked like a machine. I mean, he was putting punches together. He had a rhythm going. Everything was with power, with bad intentions. He had good form. He was using the southpaw right hook beautifully, brilliantly, to the head and to the body. Landed some good body shots. He put on a dominant performance. I mean, he really did. The only round that was competitive was the second round, and then, if you want to say that, and then the rest was all Buckley. Again, dominated with the striking. Cut him bad. It was a bad cut. They stopped it with a few seconds left. The doctors stopped it with a few seconds left in the third round. The cornerman, the cut man, didn't really get the blood. He didn't get the bleeding stopped, really. But at the end of the day, it was a bad cut. It was on the eyelid. In boxing, we stop those. You're supposed to anyway. I mean, you talk about possible permanent damage down the road. You talk about, you're talking about the eyelid is not a good place, bad place to get cut. Not to mention that obviously it's above the eye. The blood is running into the eye. That's blurring his vision, but it's a spot that could be a problem down the road. So at the end of the day, just great job. You can see the confidence in Buckley just grow he went in there confident, but man, you could see it even become so obvious that he was growing with his as he was having success striking, his confidence was just growing and growing and growing. But anyway, that's it for UFC, friends. Move on to talk about upsets. Wow, that was an upset. But man.
Yep, shocking upset in boxing. Jaime Mungia takes his second loss, only other one coming to Canelo. Drops to 44-2. He loses to unheralded Frenchman Bruno Surace, who's now 26-0 with 2 draws and only 4 knockouts coming into the fight, and he knocks Jaime Mungia out in the 6th round. Shocking, probably an upset of the year. Never even heard of Surace. Goes to Mungia's hometown of Tijuana, Mexico, and drops the superstar Mungia. Crazy upset.
Yeah, the reason you never heard of him, this was Surace's first fight outside of France. Listen, Surace came ready. He came across the water, but he came ready. He really did. I don't think he thought he was going to outpoint the guy or necessarily, he's not a knockout puncher. He's not known for one. He only had 4 knockouts in 25 wins. But that doesn't mean diddly squat. If you hit a guy clean, they don't see the punch, you're going to hurt him. And you can hurt him if you hit him in the right place. And we've seen that through the history of the sport. You don't have to be a George Foreman type puncher to hurt somebody or to knock someone out. You got to time them. Timing is so important. And you got to catch them clean. And technique has a lot to do with that. On the good side and the bad side. Good side of the road is that good technique will help you deliver punches, help you get away from punches. Bad technique will come back to haunt you. It will cause you to get hit with punches, cause you to get knocked out. How many times have I said, Ken, on this show over the years, really, that you show me a knockout, I'll show you a flaw technically. I've said it. I know other people are starting to say it now, but I've said it till the cows come home. That you show me a guy get knocked out, I'm going to show you he broke a law, he broke a rule, he did something technically flawed, technically wrong, just like a house. You show me a house that doesn't have concrete in the foundation, doesn't have cinder blocks where cinder blocks belong. I'm going to show you a house that when a strong wind comes along, whether it takes a year or 10 years, it ain't going to be standing no more. And this is the same thing. It's the same thing. You gotta teach technique.
Hey guys, quick break to thank our newest sponsor, Z-Biotics. We have the holidays coming up, which for many of us, myself included, it might mean we might have a couple of glasses of wine or drinks with family or friends out at dinner. Normally, I feel pretty terrible the next day with just 2 or 3 drinks. That's where Z-Biotics has been a lifesaver. Z-Biotics is a pre-alcohol probiotic. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to help you with rough mornings after drinking. When you drink, alcohol gets turned into a toxic byproduct in your gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Z-Biotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember, you drink Z-Biotics before a night of drinking. Obviously, drink responsibly, everybody, please. But when you have Z-Biotics before you're out having some drinks with friends and family, it really makes a difference. I'm a big fan. This stuff works. Give it a try yourself. With the holiday season upon us, I know I'm going to be consuming a little bit more alcohol than usual. With Z-Biotics, I can stay on track and not let the season throw me off course. Go to zbiotics.com/Atlas to learn more about the 15% off your first order when you use Atlas at checkout. Z-Biotics is backed by a 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/Atlas and use the code ATLAS at checkout for 15% off.
one thing, Mungia, he's moving his head more, but nobody's paying attention. Yeah, he's moving his head more now with Morales. He was with Freddie Rhodes for a minute, but he's moving it from too far away. I said this. You remember, Ken? I said it on the last show when Mungia had just fought after I think it was after his loss to Canelo. He came back and he beat Brazilian, I think. And I was talking about, yeah, he's moving his head better, but he's doing it from too far away. When you move your head from too far away, your opponent can time you. For God's sakes, trainers, please don't you. I mean, Morales is a great fighter, so I'm not going to say nothing. But man, you got to move the head when you're close enough to draw the punch where he commits himself, you make a miss, and he's in peril. You can't do it from too far away where the guy can just watch it, knowing you can't hit him yet, knowing you're too far out, knowing that he could watch your movements and then time you. And you can't finish on a right. How many times have I said that in training camp? If a fighter in my camp, in my responsibility, right, where I'm teaching him, if he makes a move and slips his head to the right and lays there, I'm going to jump in the ring and say, you can't do that. I don't care if you didn't get hit. The guy didn't throw the punch. But you're going to get hit. You're going to get hit with a right hand. You can't go over to the right side and lay there because that's in the alleyway of the right hand. You got to slip to the finish on the left, outside the right hand, not on the right side. He kept slipping over from too far away, and then he's slipping to his right and laying there. And then he's stepping out from too close. How many times have I said, you can't step out from a guy from too close. You got to do it from the right range, from outside. If you do it from close, they'll time you on the way out. They know you can't punch. They know you're not set. They just punch with you. They know it's a safe time to punch. You can't step out from too, especially with your hands down. And get low, get small, then go out or go out the side door. God, where's the teachers? Where's the teaching? I don't know. All I know is he's always had defensive liability, Mungia. And it caught up to him. It caught up to him. Offensively, he's okay, but not perfect. Nobody is. Offensively, decent fighter. But even offensively, he's thrown. The other guy did a good job. He got dropped in the... Surace got dropped in the second round with a beautiful, actually it was good technique. Mungia slipped to his left low. He made the jab and right hand of Surace miss. He made him miss, and then he made him pay. Came right back, filled the hole where the left hook to the head. He slipped over, beautiful. The left, right, bang, bang. Went right past him, and then boom. He comes up with a left hook, drops him. Beautiful. Good technique. And then out the window. Because he survives, and then what's Surace do the rest of the night? He wasn't really getting hit after that. He was blocking. He was blocking most of the punch. He didn't get really hit clean after that. He wasn't winning the rounds because the guy who was doing more was Mungia, but he was looking for his moment. He knew what he was there for. He knew what he was looking for. He came prepared. He was doing a lot of blocking. But even when he was blocking on the ropes, he was blocking. He was looking. And he was seeing. And he was trying to sneak shots in. Like as soon as he finished, pop, 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 he tried to sneak something back in. Or even time him in spots. And he caught him a couple of shots. He caught Mungia, who's always had a good chin. He caught him a couple of shots. And then other times he just missed. But what he was really doing was he knew that his game, his ticket to stardom, his ticket to an upset win, was to look, to use his eyes, to be calm, and to keep looking, to look for an opportunity, look for an opening. And he really truly was kind of like taking notes. I don't say that too often. During the fight, during the rounds, during the first 5 rounds, he stopped him in the 6th. He was taking notes. He was watching, and he was putting it up in his computer. Okay, when he slips over from too far away, when he slips to his right, he drops his left. He's over there. I can hear him. Bang! He hit him a couple times around the ear, he hit him. He didn't catch him quite right, but he hit him. I'd say 2-3 times at least, maybe 4. But here's the thing: he knew that he was going to get a chance, and he was ready for it. He was aware. He was alert. I tell you, they did a good job. Their people don't get credit. They did a good job. They must have watched film. They had to have, and they were ready. They were ready. See, one thing here, you're gonna get torn apart if you do something wrong, like a judge or a ref or whatever. But you're gonna get lifted to the clouds when you do something right. I'm gonna make sure of it. And him and his people, they did their job. He knew what he was looking for. He could not. I know he took notes during the fight, but he had to know coming in. Because, man, from the beginning, he was like radar. He was just looking for a spot to land something right. And he kept getting those spots, but he didn't catch them quite right. And then what happens in the 6th round, Ken? The 6th round, man, it was unbelievable. He slips over about a minute earlier before the knockout. He slips over again to his left. Mungia, which he was doing, like I said, all night, too far away, dropping his left a little bit, laying on the right, in the alleyway for the right hand. Right hand goes over here, right there. You can't lay over there. Yeah, I mean, you can't lay your head over on the right side. You can't go and lay over here. That's what I should say. On the TV, I'm getting mixed up with the guy. You can't go over here and lay on the left. You got to finish over here, where you're actually outside the right hand. Over here, right hand if somebody was throwing right, it would be here, and it would come right here. Over here, it wouldn't. You're outside it. So he noticed that, Surace. And like I said, about a minute before the knockout in the 6th round, he sees the opportunity. He sees the guy go over there. Bang. He throws the right hand. He hits him, but he doesn't catch him clean. Doesn't really catch him right. He just not quite right. Then later in the round, he does it again. Pop! Right hand. He's ready. Pop! Right hand again. Not quite right. 2 times already. The 3rd was a charm. Now he's locked in. He's laser focused. He knows he's going to get it. He believes he's going to get it. I think he believed it from the 1st round. And now, all of a sudden, just a few seconds after the 2nd attempt, what does Mungia do? Unbelievable. You make mistakes, you're going to keep making them till they're corrected. Or someone corrects them for you. He slips over, got his left hand low, slips to the right, starts to go out from too close. What does he do? He doesn't just throw the right hand this time. Really was nice. Throws a half a jab towards his eyes. Not even to land, just to blind him, distract him. Boom! And then he hits him the right hand laying over on the right side as he goes out clean. He put everything behind it. He never saw it. The little half a jab, boom! It distracted him, it blinded him. He never had time to register in his head, get ready for this blunt force. And when you don't have time to register it, you got a problem. You got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. Ain't gonna be no takeoff. And that's all she wrote. That's what happened. I mean, that's what happened. And it's gonna happen again if you don't correct a mistake. And then one other thing I noted, the great Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., one of the greatest, he's one of the great junior lightweights of all time, but one of the greatest Mexican fighters. They had a lot of great fighters, but one of the greatest Mexican fighters ever. Right at the top, near the top of the list, if not the top. He's doing commentary. You could see him. And he's doing commentating for the Spanish network. And the fight, like you said, is in Tijuana. It's in the hometown of Surace. Of Mungia. And I forget, I think it was the 5th round. He's on, he's got the headset, he's got the microphone, and they're fighting in front of him. He's looking up. He starts rooting. He starts yelling out instructions. It was unbelievable. I had to laugh. He starts running, not your normal stuff. He starts yelling out instructions to Mungia, fellow Mexican. He's yelling, hey, he's yelling out. And I'm like, Julio, you're commentating right now. I mean, maybe you might want to hold that a little bit. He's great. Look, you got to love Julio Cesar Chavez. He could do what he wants. He's earned the right. But I tell you what, it was pretty funny to see that. But then you saw him afterwards. You could see him. They had the camera on him. He was he didn't look too happy. Maybe he was yelling. Maybe he was yelling what I was saying now. Maybe, who knows? Too bad he didn't hear it if that was the case. But the other thing, 2 other points I wanted to make. One was that I know he just lost. I get it. He's been concussed. I get it. But when they went to the corner and showed Mungia in the corner afterwards, he didn't look upset. Now look, I'm not in his mind. I'm not in his body, and he just got knocked out. But he was talking. He was saying he was acknowledging. He went like whatever. He was making some motions and okay, yep. I think he winked his eye. Whatever. He said okay, yeah. But he just didn't look. I'm not saying you have to be crying. I'm not saying that you have to show that, and everyone's different. I'm just wondering. I'm wondering out loud because I'm talking to you guys, the audience. That's what this is about. I'm just wondering. Were you wondering if he would have shown that same reaction or lack of reaction of being maybe a little more upset 3-4 years ago? Before he made all the money he's made and the success that he's had. And God bless him. I want every fighter that gets in the ring and risks everything the way fighters do to make money and to have success. Everyone. But do you think that you go back some years and he hadn't gotten that success yet and he hadn't made that, gotten to the point where he could be comfortable for his family? Do you think that he would have maybe had a different reaction? I do. And I know it's hard to assume things. I know it. I know it's a dangerous place. Sometimes I go to those places. What are you going to do? Opens up conversation. But I do. I just do. I think when he was hungry, if you want to call it that, I don't think he would have been as loose and jovial, if maybe that's going too far. But he would have maybe had a little different reaction in the corner. Again, at the end of the day, he got caught because of the floor. And the other thing that I wanted to bring up was the ref. Let me tell you something. Ken, I don't want that ref going near any fights for any of my guys, unless my guys are really good punchers and I know they're going to score a knockdown. Because here's his count. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Like he skips, like somebody forgot to tell him that there's 3 other numbers in there, like between 7 and 10. There's actually 3 other numerals in there, fella. Hey, ref, there's 3. I mean, it's like, you can't say that it was a home job, hometown job, because the guy is he's an official. He's there. I think he's Mexican. It's in the hometown of Mungia. If that happened, you would think maybe it happened the other way. You don't want it to happen either way, but you would think it would happen the other way. But to do it to the hometown kid in his hometown, to kind of like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. 9, 10, he shot ahead. It was unbelievable. And the funny thing is, because I want to finish this right, the funny thing is, Mungia beat the count. If you're going to be honest about it, he sped up the count, the ref. He really did. I don't know why. But all I know is, I think Mungia, and again, I'm not afraid to say it. People want to come attack me on it. At least I'm going to put it out there. I'm not going to play in the middle of the fence and be afraid to say something if I believe it. I think that he counted way too fast. I think he beat the count, Mungia, but it doesn't matter. It don't matter because it's over. It don't matter because he was so hurt. I don't think he could have defended himself. he was gone. He was gone. He didn't know where he was. So in that way, maybe it's better that he didn't beat the count and the referee didn't let him go because who knows, he might have got hurt. But anyway, I needed to make sure that was touched too. Now we go to the other fight. There was a really, what's that other fight? It was Rocha and Curiel.
We went from candidate for upset of the year to a candidate for fight of the year. Two Southern-based Mexican heritage welterweights, Alexis Rocha and Raul Curiel, fight to draw. Incredible fight. Two judges had it 114 apiece. One of the judges had it 16-12, I think, for Rocha. Incredible fight, tit for tat all the way through. Even the punch stats were almost dead even. Incredible fight. How'd you like that one?
The only difference between these guys, this was a mirror fight. That's what I call these fights. Both guys' styles, temperaments, it was like looking in a mirror. Nothing to separate them except for one thing. Rocha's a southpaw and Curiel's not. And Curiel's undefeated, and Rocha was 25-2 going in. Curiel 15-0, 13 knockouts. Rocha had been stopped one time.
Interesting stat about those about their records. The fighter with the lesser fights, Curiel, I believe he's 2 years older. Yeah, Rocha is 27, Curiel is 29, with only 16 professional fights, and Rocha comes in with 28 professional fights. So, interesting observation. I don't know if it's worth anything, but much more experience for the younger guy.
Yeah. Well, sometimes, yeah, sure. Sometimes guys start later. They just get started later, coming out of the amateurs or whatever held up their, career a little bit. They get started, or some guys aren't as active, So that's why they wind up not getting as many fights as somebody else gets.
Yeah, Rocha had double the amount of professional rounds that Curiel had. I don't know if that's worth anything, but like I said, it's just an interesting observation.
Yeah. No, the experience of Rocha, I thought showed. I thought it did show. Curiel was really tested. 15-0, 13 knockouts going in. He had never been tested like this.
Yeah.
And I thought he passed the test. I thought he behaved right. I thought Rocha was terrific. Again, I thought they were both terrific. It's definitely a candidate for fight of the year. It was a mirror fight. They were looking in a mirror, except for the southpaw of being Rocha was a southpaw. Very similar styles, right in front of you. It was a phone booth fight for the most part. They were back and forth. I thought Curiel finished strong. I thought that around I think it was the 7th. Not sure what round it was. But I think it was around the 7th round where Curiel started to get the better on the inside, putting together shots. Where I thought that was a big round for him. Up to then, it was close with definitely you could maybe favor Rocha a little bit. But then I thought the 7th and 8th rounds, even though Rocha came back strong in the 8th, I thought that Curiel finished the 8th really big. I thought those were important rounds, turning point rounds for me, for the undefeated fighter. I thought that he took it into the 9th round too. 7th, 8th, and 9th round for me were good rounds where Curiel started to, I don't know if it was catch up, but definitely doing better work. And he's got a habit of, I don't know if it serves him with the refs or judges, but Ken, he's got a habit. Duran was great at this, but Duran was Duran. Where he does this, he rides with punches. Like he sees it, and he takes it, he rides with it. He instead of slipping it sometimes, he'll ride with it. And it can look like he's getting hit, but he's riding. He's taking the force off of the punch. He did that a few times, but it's very obvious, and you see it. It catches your eyes. And I wonder sometimes if it doesn't catch the judge's eyes, and say, oh, yeah, he got caught a shot, rather than actually understanding that he got away or he rode with a shot. But all night long, just no let-ups, back and forth. I thought, again, the late rounds, I thought Curiel was consciously trying to outwork Rocha. Like if Rocha threw 3, he'd come back with 4 or 5. But nobody took control of the momentum for more than a round or part of a round. Neither guy would let the other guy. It was like a race, like what you do. It was like nobody would let the other guy get too far ahead. Would never let the guy get out of his sight. Never. It reminded me of kind of like a face-off with bands. You know, like you get a band face-off, right? I think that stuff is cool. You know, and you get 2 bands facing off, right? And you got the drummer does his thing, and then the other drummer tries to outdo him. Then you got the trumpet do it, then the other trumpet guy tries to outdo him. Then you got the guitar, then the other guy. That's what it was like to me, except it was a little more painful than that. Where you got the competing bands. One guy in the drum. Yeah, watch this. Cymbals, everything. It reminded me of that. Hey, Rob, can you get that song up there? Reminded me of the song Charlie Daniels Band, The Devil Came Down to Georgia, where the devil says they're going to play for his soul. He said, I'll play you for your soul, Miss Devil. And, they played... They had a contest. So the devil takes the fiddle. I believe
the contest was a fiddle of gold against your soul.
A fiddle of gold. A fiddle of gold against your soul. I'll take that
fiddle of gold against your soul. That
there
I'm
better
than
is.
you.
I bet a fiddle of gold against your soul because I think I'm better than you.
I'm better than you. Wow, you talk about putting it all on the line. You're putting your soul on the line? That's going out there. That's going out there. He said, I'm better than you. I'll put it on the bed. Let's go. And the devil did his thing. And then he goes, the guy, whoever he is, from
laid
Charlie
that
Daniels
golden
Band,
fiddle on the ground at Johnny's feet.
He laid it on Johnny's feet because Johnny played the hell. No pun intended. But he played the hell out of that fiddle. Man, that fiddle probably went on fire. That was great. And that's what this was like. That was really, oh yeah, you could do that, I could do anything you could do, I could do better. And one after the other, contest all night long, bringing the best out in each other. Really, they all talked about the rematch, both of them. Give it a rest. Take some time off. You both took some shots. You both took a lot of shots. Give it some rest, because really, at the end of the day, you win a tough fight. You win a tough fight. It was a great fight, tremendous fight. I thought another thing that was a little bit of maybe a turning point or an important point, maybe. I thought for Curiel was I thought there was a spot where Curiel started to land the uppercut. I think it was the right uppercut, and he stayed with it. And Rocha never really found a way to avoid that. When Curiel needed that uppercut, it was there for him throughout. Once he found it, it was there throughout the fight. But just a terrific fight. It's probably going to be. You're probably going to be a rematch. I would love to see it. It was a majority draw, like you said. It was one. I don't see how you could have anyone in that kind of fight. The way I just broke it down, a mirror fight. I don't know how. Really, Ken. I don't know how any judge, unless they're whatever, they're intoxicated. Maybe I don't know what they're doing, but. Anyone, it is this, it is the holidays. There is eggnog out there. I don't know how any judge can have 116, 112 for either one. For either one. 114, 114, 114, 114. All right. You want to have it for one guy or the other, go ahead. But by that size, I don't know. I don't know. But then again, boxing does that to me. Judges do that to me, Ken, where they have me saying quite too often, I don't know. I just don't know what those people were thinking. So, what I do know is we're getting on a plane tomorrow to go to Riyadh for a very interesting rematch.
Yep, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, huge fight. And for a heavyweight title fight, very rare to see the line this tight. For our friends at MyBookie, you can go to mybookie.ag, use the promo code ATLAS for a 50% credit on your first deposit. They've got Alexander Usyk at a slight 1.5 to 1.5 favorite, minus 156 to plus 117 for Tyson Fury. Over under 10.5 rounds, minus 200 on the over, plus 140 on the under. There's some interesting lines, though, if you want to pick the winning method, such as Usyk by decision gets you back 170. Fury by knockout gets you plus 300. But we can get into the specific methods of victory after you give you a breakdown of the fight and predictions. But that's what we have from the people at MyBookie to set the stage. Teddy, take it away. What are we looking for?
Yeah, listen, it's the kind of fight off of the first fight. Great fight. The first fight was the first time in 25 years that the title for the heavyweight championship got unified since Lennox Lewis Holyfield. 25 years. And then, of course, they didn't take that long to of course, split it again, right? To of course, to ununify it with Dubois and Joshua making that for the IBF title, whatever it was what Dubois had. Look, Dubois earned the right to be a champ the way that he dispatched of Joshua. But again, they waited 25 years to get a unification fight, and they did. Usyk was the man, and then they didn't wait too long to strip one of those, the IBF, I guess, title. So this is not for the unified, as the first one was, but it's for two of the belts, I guess, 2 or 3 of the belts. There's so many belts, I lose track. The first fight was great. So, yeah, all right, I have no problem. Rematch, great fight. Back and forth, drama. Really, it was like a book, reading different chapters of the book, up and down, back and forth. Both guys hurt the other. Usyk hurt Fury much more when the 10th round, whatever round that was, 10th to 11th, I think it was the 10th, where he hurt him bad. And he almost knocked him out. I would argue that he would have knocked him out if he wasn't such a gentleman. He actually stopped when the referee was starting. The referee still didn't get in yet when he was reeling all over the ring, Fury. He was reeling all over the place. And he was right there to get caught a finishing punch. And the referee wasn't in there yet. He stopped. And he didn't throw it. And then the referee got in, gave him a count. An 8 count, and look, credit to both guys. Intestinal fortitude on display, up the kazoo. Just incredible. Incredible character. I mean, both men are incredible. Usyk fighting from a country that's war-torn, giving hope to his people. And Fury, just incredible human being. I mean, he suffered with a spiral downwards after he had won the title the first time against Klitschko, moving, boxing, where we hadn't seen a big man move like that for I don't know how long, if we ever seen a guy that big move around, that mobile. He wins, and then he goes into a spiral of drugs and alcohol, and he's very honest about it. He suffers from being bipolar. He goes into depression, I mean, he's very honest. He if he's not in the gym, it's a crapshoot for him sometimes, as far as his life being stable. The gym helps him at his beautiful family that he has, but helps keep him stable. But otherwise, it's hard because of these situations that he's very honest about, with the mental illness or bipolar, with the up and down emotions. But here's a guy that came back from all that, got dropped against a tremendous puncher in Wilder, got dropped. He's laying there in the 11th round, I think it was. He's laying there like he's gone, and he gets up. I mean, I've said it before. It was like his life was passing in front of him, laying there, and then it was like somebody was asking, do you want to go on with your life, or you want it to end now? Do you want to go on and conquer and triumph, or do you want to lay here and be conquered? You've been through it already. You've been through it with the drugs. You've been through it with the alcohol. You've already been knocked down. Are you going to get up? You're knocked down again. Are you going to get up? Yes, I'm going to get up. He got up. And he's made millions and millions of dollars by getting up at that moment. Wound up beating Wilder in the rematch, beat him 2 out of 3, stopped him both times, and he won the heavyweight title. Tremendous character on both sides of men. Usyk, what's the greatest trait he has? I've said it before anyone was saying it. Yeah, he's a good boxer. He's got good hand speed for a heavyweight. He puts punches. He's not a big guy. He's moved up from cruiser. He puts punches together well. He's good defensively, good technically. He's got good legs. He can fight with you. He can box. He can counter. He's versatile. All of that. He's well-rounded. But his greatest asset, he knows how to win. He finds a way to win. He won the Olympic gold. He won the cruiserweight title. He unified all the cruiserweight titles. Then he goes up and beats a much bigger guy in Joshua in his home country, not once, but twice, to win the heavyweight title and then to keep it. So this is very interesting. You can make an argument for both sides. Easy. Coming off the first fight, easy. You could say, hey, at the end of the 6th round, Fury had him hurt with a right uppercut. Yeah, he did. And then what does he do? He comes back in the 10th round, Usyk. I think it was the 10th, 9th to 10th, whatever it was. He comes back and he hurts Fury, as I said earlier, almost finishes him. He was behind in the fight. He had to come from behind to win. It was still close. Going even after the knockdown. It was close, but you know what that first fight was? It was a matter of Usyk getting things done when it didn't look like he was getting anything done. It looked like he was losing rounds, but he was winning. He was like a guy that puts money in the bank that is not seeing anything for it, but he knows he's going to get dividends from it later. He's going to get interest later. Even though he's not seeing nothing, first 6 rounds, 7 rounds, 8 rounds, he's, especially the first 6, he's not winning the rounds. Fury's jabbing, he's moving, he's picking spots, he's winning around. But Usyk, although he's not winning on the scorecards, he's the guy who's getting interest. He knows what he's doing. There's a method to his madness. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's applying pressure. He ain't winning the rounds. He's not winning the battles, but he's going to win the war. And he's putting pressure, being the boss. Pressure breaks pipes. Pressure breaks men. Pressure wears people down. He was wearing them down psychologically, physically. Pressure. And finally he got him to a spot where the pressure paid off. He traps him on the ropes and he catches him and almost finishes him. And he winds up winning the fight by decision. I think this time Fury's got to make a change. One of two things, it's up to him because he is versatile. Yeah, he could back him up, not be backed up. Back up the smaller guy. You back him up behind your jab at the right way, the right range. Yeah, you could do that. Or, and this would be the or, I would take the or if I'm the trainer. Set yourself more. Bend your legs a tiny bit more. Set yourself, grab the floor a little bit. And control range, which you are taller, you are longer, you are bigger. Control the range, but step off. Don't just move. Be set to punch. So it's not easy for him to come in. So he feels pressure trying to get in. Where you control him at the end of your punches, keep him at the end of your jab, and then take little steps back to keep that range where you keep him reaching for you. You keep him going through a bad neighborhood to get to you, where you have a chance to mug him on the way through that neighborhood. So you get set. You don't just move around. You set, you control range. You don't have to back him up. That's your option. But you're controlling for the long term. For 12 rounds, I think my option's better. You control him at the end of the jab and you step off. You step off. Or if you have wheels on a chair, you do what I'm doing. You roll back. And you roll back, but you're always set. You're never letting him really have freedom to just feel he could just walk in. You always got a threat on him. Always a threat on him. Now, if you're Usyk, you just say, I do the same thing, right? You're looking to press, but he's got options. He's versatile. He's dimensional. This time, maybe if the other guy presses, now he counter punches. He makes him a pop. Makes him a pop. He's done that before. He used the legs. He used the ring. Those are the options of change. At the end of the day, very interesting fight. If I was giving advice to both guys, if I'm giving advice to Usyk, don't fall behind this time. Use your jab a little more. Yeah, press, but use your jab when you're doing it a little bit more. You did some good body work. Continue with that body work. But to try to take the legs away if he uses the legs, if he does, Fury. But use your jab. If he comes at you, counter punch. But don't mix in the pressure with a little bit more punching, scoring, so you don't fall behind. In the smart way without fighting a fight that's the wrong fight for you. Now, if I'm Fury, I already said the main stuff. Set yourself more, use your jab like you were, but be more set. Use the uppercut more. You landed it. You didn't throw it that often. You landed it. Now, if I'm on the other side of Usyk, I'm going back and forth. If I'm on the other side, I said, if he throws that uppercut, look to slip it and hit him with a counter left hook. Ha-ha! A counter hook, I should say. He's a southpaw. So it would be actually a straight left hand. Slip it, throw the straight left hand. Right? Usyk's a southpaw, right? Am I getting confused here? Verify that for me. I'm getting, I don't know why, but I'm sure he is. So sometimes when a guy throws an uppercut, if they throw it from too far away, if they drop it, they could leave themselves vulnerable if you time them.
Southpaw.
Yeah, he's a southpaw. That's what I do. So you slip to your left and counter with a left hand. If he throws that, or beat him to it without even slipping. Just fill the hole with a left hand if he drops the right uppercut. Right hand for the uppercut. But again, if I'm Fury, I'm looking to use that uppercut the right way, but I'm looking to use it more. I'm looking to use it more because you scored with it. You didn't use it enough. Use it more. And put something on top of it. You hit him with the right uppercut, put the left hook with it. Hit him with two instead of one. And the final thing for Fury, the guy who lost, so maybe he should get a little bit more advice. The final thing would be go to the body a little more. Go to the body. You went in there knowing that he's been hurt to the body before. You threw some good body shots, but you didn't stay there. You affected him to the body, but you didn't stay there. You didn't do it enough, consistently enough. That word consistency, so important. So important in life, in anything you do in life. So at the end of the day, are you ready for my prediction? I'd like to know those. Please, Ken, give me those props again. Give me the whole rundown from the great MyBookie people. If you're going to bet with your head. Make sure that you can afford it. Don't bet if you can't afford it. You got some extra money. You want to do a little something, fine. Otherwise, no.
All right. So the money line is Usyk minus 150, Fury plus 117. Over 10.5 rounds, minus 200. Under, plus 140. Winning method, Usyk by decision, plus 170. Fury by decision, plus 340. Usyk by KO, plus 250. Fury by KO, plus 300. There you have it.
I'm ready.
And then you can go, will the fight go the distance? Minus 150 for yes, plus 110 for no.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Give it to him.
I am ready. I'm going to do a couple bets. You know, nominal bets. Nothing crazy. Have a little fun. Have a little fun. Don't try to, break the bank. Have a little fun. Make sure you can afford it. Please. So, I'm starting with Usyk. I'm taking Usyk. I think he's going to win. I think, again, this is a guy who finds ways to win. It's in his DNA. I don't think it's an accident that he wins all the time. So he finds a way to win. His country, look at his country. They're trying to find a way to win. They don't give in. I mean, look, the Fury comes from a great country. Look at what they did in World War II. Oh my God. Look what they did, what they survived, what they overcame. But they're both warriors. But he finds a way to win. I'm going with Usyk. Then I'm going to say, you know what? They were both hurt. I'm going to put a play. I'm going to put a play on Usyk to win by knockout. What am I getting back? 250? That's nice. That's a nice little play. And then I might take a small play, a little smaller play, and put it on. Don't get crazy, people. I'm going both ways. Yeah, I admit it. I am. I'm playing. I think there's a method behind my reasoning and madness. I'm going to do a small play then by knockout for Fury. He gets you get 300 back. So I'll do a smaller play, just a small play. Either way, you get money back. You could lose one and win the other. You're still going to win. I'm going to do a small play on both by knockout, but a little bit bigger on Usyk, just a little bit. All right, so I got that. But I got Usyk. That's my main play. I got him to win. As far as the under-over, I'm not laying that because, it figures, everyone figures it to be an overplay. That's why the money is, you got to lay money on the over. But I wouldn't be shocked if, like I just said, if somebody knocked the other guy out. And here's the final thing. This is what this fight comes down to, people. I don't think anyone else will go touch on this is the reason why I'm picking Usyk. I think both guys, it was like the Trill in Manila, where Ali and Frazier left parts of themselves in that ring. I've always talked about, that's why I'm so passionate about protecting fighters, about going after bad judging, bad refs, because they do damage to a guy that only has a certain amount of time on his clock to make money, to make success, to have success, to take care of his family and then get out. There's only so much time because when you rob a guy, you rob him of that time. It's different than robbing a guy that before they hit instant replay in baseball for going to first base and you rob him. He comes up the next inning and he can make up for it. But when you rob a guy in boxing, especially on their way up, they got to go to the back of the line, face thousands of punches to get back to that place to take care of their family. Place they already earned. Place they already went to, and you screwed them. And they might never get to that place again. That's why I get so nuts. You leave a piece of yourself in the damn ring. And in Manila, Ali and Frazier left a piece of themselves in that ring. They were never the same. And I think they left a good part of themselves in the ring that night, similar to that. It was a hell of a fight. And both guys took punishment, especially Fury. But both guys are getting older. That goes into play too. And I think it comes down to not if both guys left something in the ring. I don't think there's a doubt that they left something in the ring. But who left more? For me, that's what this fight comes down to, Ken. Who left more in the ring of themselves in that first fight? And I'm going to say it was Fury, that he left more of himself. And if I'm right, Usyk wins. And if I'm wrong, it's going to be a hell of a fight. So either way, I'm taking Usyk. I just gave you my plays. Have fun with it. Don't get too serious with it.
Well, there you go, Teddy. I know you got to fly out in the morning and some business to take care of on the home front. So thanks for doing this. Hope everyone liked it. We tried to hit everything and right to the point today. Hope you guys are all having a great holiday season and look forward to seeing you next week to break down all the action from Saudi Arabia. You got anything else,
Can I finish
Teddy?
with one? Yeah, I want to just say one thing. You said it beautifully. You finished it up beautifully. Hope everyone has a great, we're going to see you before the holidays, but I hope, no, actually we're not. Oh, yeah, we will. Oh, no, we won't. I don't know.
On the 23rd.
But anyway.
Next Monday is the 23rd.
Yeah, so we'll be back. We get back on it. Yeah, so we'll see you just before the Christmas. But look, everyone, enjoy the holiday season. And what I just wanted to kind of use the timing of Ken saying, enjoy, have a good, festive holiday season. Have a little eggnog. Don't drive if you have an eggnog. Do not do that. But just have a better time than whoever that guy was that they caught on video, they caught on camera after Mungia got knocked out. Did you guys see that? That was,
I'm not sure.
It was a friend. He was on the ring apron. He was like right near the ring side. I think he was on the ring apron. I don't know who he was. I think he was in a white sweatsuit or something. I'm not sure. I couldn't see his face because he blocked his face. But he was on it, and when McGee went down, he was like this. Have a better week than that. He was like this. It was like, oh my God.
Don't bury your head in the sand when dealing with a crisis.
Oh my goodness
boxing,
gracious.
don't put your head down and close your eyes when you're under fire.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. That is good advice.
You ever notice that you can tell instantly if someone's never had any boxing training, but everyone fancies themselves a fighter at some point. And the first thing that someone does with no experience, kids, adults, everyone, head down, eyes closed as soon as incoming starts.
That's why you got to be taught. You got to be trained.
Exactly.
So don't do. So I hope you have a much better week than that guy had.
You got it. Well, listen, Teddy, safe travels in Saudi. We look forward to hearing about the experience, and good luck to both Usyk and Fury in the fight. And make sure that cash is in the bank. Have a great week, Teddy, and safe travels.
You too. You too. Everybody, take care.
Thanks, guys.